I have good news and I have bad news. The developers of Ironmarked, the game you're currently looking at, have unfortunately laid off a large portion of their workforce. There are only 9 developers left, and this is the game they were working on. The good news is the demo, or at least the playtest, is now available on Steam for you to take a look at. They want to showcase what they've been developing and hopefully find enough investors or enough interest in it to kind of continue to develop the game. Right now, there's only 9 members left, I believe, at the studio, which is Flaming Fowl. I've had a lot of good interactions with that studio. Ironmarked is a 1 to 3 player co op RPG that's turn based combat. It's set in a medieval world. What's interesting is it has a lot of similarities to Gloomhaven, so that's pretty cool. If you enjoy Gloomhaven, you're going to find something here to enjoy. So it's a card building RPG. We can start off with building all our units. Right here we have John right at the top. Obviously this is really early release. The one thing we're looking for in this card building is movement, and I believe Hammerhead has a bit of a movement. It boasts about having kind of infinite replayability or fully replayable. There's something I want to talk about this as well. So I'm really excited there's a demo out, but I want to talk about the differences between this game and Manor Lords. Well, at least the marketing. So let's just hit start. We're going to dive right on into this. You can actually customize each one of those units. I'm not going to show you all of that. We're going to skip past these scenes. I apologize. It's just something I don't really want to watch. And then we're just going to talk about marketing. So in the battle ready phase, we're just going to do combustion. There's really not too much we can do with that. And we're just going to do that. We'll burn all adjacent tiles, which is pretty cool. And then we're going to end our turn. Then we're going to move on into the combat phase. I'll explain it so you don't have to read all these words, but pause it right here if you want to read them. So one thing you'll notice is the marketing for Ironmarked was almost non-existent. At least in the circles I'm in, I've never seen any marketing for Ironmarked, which is something that's pretty interesting to me. Because if you look at games like Manor Lords, and just look at the Steam page and compare the two, honestly, Manor Lords, there's a lot of hype around it, but if you kind of read the descriptions, it's a very well written about this game. Whereas if you compare it to Ironmark, there's really not much to it. So the first thing we need to do is we need to move into combat with this Stitch Guard. So we have this ranged unit right here. I believe her name. Oh, we're starting off with John. John right here. He's our main dude. He's like our tanky character. He has a lot of abilities. He can block. The one thing we wanted was the ability to move. So that's specifically why I did that. So let's attack this guy. I want to see how strong he is. One downside about John is he doesn't have a lot of move cards. And then we can kind of just continue to just attack this guy. We can heal units, we can block 5, we can do reckless target. And then what we'll do is we'll block 5, and then we will do reckless target next, and we'll have a lot of block. All right, another unit has appeared. He's kind of at our rear, and then we're going to do that. And let's do reckless flurry and just continue to beat on this guy. I didn't know that was going to push him back. All right, so that kind of puts him out of John's range. It goes up over here. So if you ever play Gloomhaven, you'll see that we'll have a turn order up in that upper left. So let's go like this. So this is a poison dart. So we have 2 options. We can continue to bully this character right here and try and get rid of him, or we can kind of do 2 things and kind of get into range. So let's see what cards we have available. So let's do an enhancement. So all our units or all our attacks will have poison from now on, which is pretty cool. Look at the animations though. Those are like really, really, really something to write home about. We're currently out of range, so we do need to move. So we could actually go Overwatch and then move. So no one's within our Overwatch range. So really, we're kind of in a bit of a bind. Let's just go like this. I don't think this guy's ever going to move, but we'll put Overwatch up, which is interesting. I thought we would have the ability to move after, but maybe I read that card wrong. That's good that he's pushing back forward to attack John's, and now it's our Redmane's turn. So she has a lot of power. This is a powerhouse, almost like a glass cannon type of unit. She has no ability. Actually, she can kind of close the gap right here. We can move 3. So what's interesting about this unit is she kind of attacks forward, back, sides, similar to the other ones, but she doesn't have a lot of ability to move or attack anyone at range. So we're just going to go block. We'll just stack up our blocks, and then we'll use all of our attack points at this moment in time. And then we're not going to attack at all, so we're going to end our turn. So he's going to move to attack 6. That's going to cause a good amount of damage to us, which is unfortunate, but let's do this. So now we're back with John up here in this upper left. We can burn block, or we can target all. We can burn, steamroll, push. We don't really want to push him anywhere, so let's just burn this guy. And it's a little unresponsive there, so there we go. Set him on fire, kind of just give him a bad time. And then we'll do battle ready. So we're going to set everything on fire. We're not going to push. I don't really see. And we're going to get attacked. And we're going to end our turn. So then we move back over here to, I believe, Galt. And Galt is going to assist Redmane because she's kind of having a bad time. It depends on if we can kind of get into position. So if we go over here, we can we snipe yet? He's at the maximum range for us to snipe in, so let's just do that. Perfect, and that actually carries poison, so we could actually close the gap a little bit more, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. Because I don't want to be too far out of range if we don't have a lot of, we don't have the ability to discard too. I wonder what happens if I discard one, I probably don't get it, so we're just going to end our turn. We're not going to do dodge. Alright, so John's just going toe-to-toe with that guy right now. So this unit can move and attack. So we could move twice and attack. So we could attack him here and attack him here. And that kind of... Ooh, does anything else give us vigor? At the start of your turn... Oh, attack 10? What do we just get rid of this guy right off the bat with a Calamity? So, if you've noticed, one thing about the gaming landscape right now is there's not, like... It's drying up, man. A lot of people don't seem to understand there's not a lot of money right now that a lot of people might not have, or a lot of people don't have. And so people aren't securing publishers, players aren't dumping a lot of money into things, and so you see a lot of weird marketing tactics. And so one thing that kind of separates these two, like Manor Lords, is Manor Lords' Steam page talks about all these features it's going to have in its future, whereas Ironmarked kind of just is very bland. Like it's like, I mean, how they describe the game is use a straightforward but powerful booster-based deck editor. I mean, yeah, I guess straightforward is just not a word I'd use to really market anything. I'm not going to lie. I think some people are scared to hype up their games, and then other people have absolutely no issues hyping their games like into like out of oblivion. And so that's something I feel like Gloomhaven or Flame and Foul are a really grounded studio, and they definitely put a lot of work into their games. They just can't market them correctly, or they fail to market them. We're going to do move. We need moves. I'd rather have a 0 move to attack move versus attack weak. We'll trade a 0 for 0. Ooh, that's much better in our selection. So it reminds me, so we're going to replace a few more things, and then we're going to continue on a little bit. All right, so now we can kind of do things. So we can gain enhancement cards, we can gain cards, or we can poison ourselves. So let's just assign John needs some help. Redmane. I wonder if it would be better to have like Redmane up here and John down here. Maybe he gets lucky and gets like a movement card. He does. That's what we wanted. So as you play on, we're going to do one more. I'm going to skip this scenario. We're going to go forward, and we're going to go into the next combat arena. We'll play through it, and we'll just continue to move forward. So it reminds me a lot of Darkest Dungeon. There's a lot of these good deck builders coming out. The music is playing in the background constantly. One thing that kind of bummed me out why I really focused on movement with John is there's a lot of just range, just massive amounts of range unit right off the bat. And so that kind of just bummed me out. So that's why we're focused so hard. Our attack is equal to our block, so that's something that like needs to stack up. So we're not going to attack at all, but we're not going to heal either. Ooh, that would have been better to do. We'll say gain vigor 3. So same with Redmane, so we need to close the gap. So that's exactly what we're going to do. So let's just do that. So she needs to move too. She needs to be directly in front of this character. And then we will just say, we'll just play this card. That's going to give us block 3. And then we're going to play this card. A really weak glass cannon character that can kind of like steamroll out of control. And then we have this unit. This is our main archer. We can kind of just move a little bit so we can pick a direction to go. So that's exactly what we'll do. We'll move 2. Oh, it looks like we're not quite where I would like to be. And I just hope the developers find like a job after this, because this does actually have like a lot of good things about it. So we'll just keep wearing this unit down. Hopefully we can close the gap with John, and if he gets close enough, we'll have a good time. And then that's our turn. So it goes into 3 archers. They're going to shoot us from range. It looks like they're trying to close the gap on Redmayne, which makes sense because she's a really powerful character. Attack 3, range 3. So we're just right in position to get that done. All right, and he's going to fall back, which makes sense, but we have a lot of block on our character. So now we're back to John. He moves 2 attacks. And we're just going to keep trying to get close, honestly. Attack this barrel. Screw this barrel, yo. Did he miss? John missed the barrel. All right, let's keep going. So basically, we're going to keep closing this gap. I think I attacked the wrong thing. Let's rotate our camera. And try and click this. Let's get rid of some of these people. We could actually move again if we really wanted to. Move again, bash. Attack 3. Click on the dirt. And we can actually finish this guy off, I believe. We just skip the move and just do the attack. And then he dies. Right, and then we have one more character to deal with. And we'll just get directly in front of this person. Or right on their side, and then we'll end our turn. All right, and then it comes down to this unit right here. So this is one thing we always kind of need to be lined up. So we will line up with this character. And then we will pull the camera back and engage them. So we can attack 2, but we're only going to do 1, which is a little bit of a bummer, but that's okay. And then we could actually just finish this guy off, I believe, with our final attack. And then we rotate over into, I believe, Galt, whose turn's done. And then this person probably turns and attacks us. This barrel, he tries to run away, which is fine. And then he shoots us. Right? And then so it comes down to John. John is always out of position. We're just going to block. And we're going to end our turn. There's really no reason to kind of mess with John. So we always need to have the ability to move. And that's kind of something that's interesting to me because it reminds me a lot of Gloomhaven. And it seems like it's a bit more forgiving in this game. Gloomhaven was pretty punishing. So 0. So we could actually attack 8 and just finish this guy off, I guess. I was going to try and stack Fever to finish him, but that's enough. And then if we have no more moves, and that's the turn. I mean, there's a bit more to it, but that's where we're going to call it. There's a whole nother scenario, which is kind of difficult. So check the game out if you're interested in it. Peace.